Hey guys, this is NSC65 and today I'm going to show you how to do a magazine reload. That's how it's done.
Warning. The following video clip contains offensive and vulgar language, such as fuck, bitch, and whore. Viewer discretion is advised. You cheeky bastards.
How's it going, guys? I'm doing this video as a video response to Eric Ebomy. I think he's the one that started this video. What's your EDC? And I thought I'd show you guys my EDC. So a few things that I carry on a regular basis. But before we get to that, as you guys can see in the background, I got this stamp for this rifle. So now it's an SBR, and you can see now the stock is on it. So let me show you. What? And this rifle is Cerakoted, so some people are asking. This thing engraved in there, Shell Shock Armory LLC, and there you go. So finally I have this. Still have a few SBRs going on, about 3 or 4 of them, but we'll show you those as it happens. So first thing of my ADC will be my phone. So, I mean, just a regular phone. What's actually important is the case. This is an S4, Galaxy S4, and this case is awesome. You can toss it, it falls on the ground 1,000 times, and you can just keep doing that. Protects the phone really well. It's a lot better than those outer box. Outer box tend to start bubbling and getting like stretching shitty. This is a plastic case with some rubber at the edges, and I think I got this for like 20 bucks, maybe 18 bucks or something like this off Amazon. Really well spent money. So that will be my very first thing on my EDC. My second thing, and this is kind of unique, I think they introduced that in SHOT Show this year. It's a DPX knife. It was retailed roughly about 220 bucks. What's nice about this knife is it's very light. You can just put it on your belt, forget about it. It works kind of weird how you have to get used to holding it. I think the proper way of holding it is something like this, but I developed my own technique, I guess. I hold it like this, and I can manipulate it like this, open it, close it, open it, close it. As you can see, very quick. It's not spring assisted or anything. The whole idea is, you see, there's a latch here that you pull up, and then you just open it and it locks. Now the lock-in, I had to make some adjustment to the lock-in to get it to lock on the closure. And then it goes up, again it goes into that ledge and locks. Very solid, so it protects it. You can put it in your box or your pocket or hang it on your belt. You're good. You got some hex wrenches there, you can use that for that. There's a bottle opener, just a couple serrations on their back for holding that. Edge is very awesome. I think I don't know what the steel is at this point, but I can get some specs. I do need to do a review on it. I've been carrying this for about a few months now. I think about 4 or 5 months, and I do like it. The edge is awesome. It feels like you're carrying a box cutter or a blade, like one of those razor blades. So very nice. Now this can't accomplish everything, so I do carry this knife, and this is kind of an interesting knife, and the reason I carry this, when I was in Egypt years and years back, This pretty much seems like the most evil knife that they have out there. And if you get caught with one of these, I think it's like 15 years in jail. So one of those rules. They do some modification there and get this thing to be butter smooth. And if you pull it this way and open it, it will open. This is very hard to do hard to do that with, but it's a very solid knife. It locks really better than any other locks, and you can use it for whatever the heck you want to. You can do a lot of stuff with this knife. So this is my secondary knife or primary knife or whatever the heck you want to call it. Those knives, it's you need to learn how to close it. You have to close it this way or this way. Otherwise, if you put your hand here or put your thumb here, you will cut it. So it's pretty much like this, and then close. Of course, I do have a gun, but first I always have a Black Hawk belt. I've been using those belts for a long time, and I wear either 511 pants or Black Hawk pants or those tactical pants. I always do wear them, so it helps to have one of these belts as well that is designed for that. It takes a lot of the efforts out. Kydex holster, that of course belt designed by me, and I used to do Kydex for the longest time. Now I just do them for myself, and I build them to my guns and they fit me. This specific holster is designed for my carry gun, which they need to check. So this is my carry gun. It's kind of weird. Looks like a Glock 19. It is technically a Glock 19 because the frame is a Glock 19 frame. Slide is a custom slide. It has a serration up front, serration up back, cut for RMR. All the internal and of the slide and internal of the frame have been modified and customized. Trigger is different. Everything is different in this. I'm using a wolf barrel, and this is a threaded wolf barrel. It has a thread protector, and it adds a little bit weight, this protector on, so it helps with the gun going back on target. The stippling really is not really anything unique, but I did this aggressive stippling, so it's big that it's not going to eat in your hand, but it's also good if you're blading or something like that. On here, we kind of got the edges here to be kind of ridge, like kind of shelf, so you can actually push down on this end with your thumb. You can hold it here. If you're lefty, you can do the same thing. So you can push down on the gun, so when the gun recoiling, you're still holding it back or you're pushing it back. RMR, this is the red dot RMR, the adjustable. I think it's the 06. What's the model? Yeah, RM06. This is one of, I think it's the most expensive one, which the reason I got this is when you go with the Trijicon, you run into the issue of when you go from the light to dark or dark to light, you might run into an issue of not being able to get your red dot. This red dot, you can have it on auto and it will adjust based on the light, or you can control it so sharper, less light, or bigger dot, smaller dot, things like that. You can do that adjustment. I keep the light on. It's been on for the last, I'd say, 6 months on a medium, and have not had an issue or did not have to replace the battery yet. So like I said, I think roughly about 6 months continuing working here. I also have those suppressor Trijicon sights, so those are night sights, so if for whatever reason the red dot is out, I can still use that. The other thing is the reason I went with the red dot, I can see my night sights at night as well, and I can identify the difference between the night sights and my red dots. Those are going to be green. So I usually carry Glock 19, so about a 15 round magazine, or one in the gun, one in my pocket. And if I'm going and I can take the 33 round, I'll carry one of those as well. Along with all this, this is again the holster here. So, you can see it's designed for it. Undercut, the slide, and all that, they're framed so the thumb works. Along with all of this, living in Minnesota has its own, I don't know if it's merits, but we sometimes have to deal with a lot of snowstorms, and I carry a survival pack in my car that will have a fire starter, will have a flashlight, it will have warming packs, it will have a suit, like warm clothes, it will have a cover, it will have a few other things, ropes, things like that. So if I have to attempt to survive for a certain time until maybe somebody comes and get me or something like that happens. I have had once actually I was driving my car and got stuck in a snowstorm, and the car for whatever reason decided to break down as well. It won't start, so it was pretty much cold outside, nothing to cover with, and by the time I called AAA, called it towing, by the time they showed up, I think it was 4 or 5 hours after that happened. I had a cover for my car in the trunk, so I used that to cover with, but I was almost losing my foot. So it was not a fun experience, but this is kind of my EDC, and does it change? Really not a lot now. I used to carry a 1911, and that has changed since I went to Ebomy shoot, and I got to shoot Glocks. So that was my first time to shoot Glocks ever. For the longest time I was an anti-Glock, but I shot, I think, Ray Edward Glock, and I decided, hey, I gotta get me one of those, and now I'm proud owner of a 19 and a 17. One thing I forgot to mention about this rifle, it weighs about 4¼ pounds. This whole rifle, 4¼ pounds, so that's kind of awesome. That's my EDC, guys, and I'm sticking to it, so thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing.